Welcome everyone, Sculpts here, and today we will be sculpting everyone's favorite green dinosaur. Yes, that's right, I'm talking about Yoshi. Now, we're going to zoom out a bit so that we can see him fully. And there you have him. We did paint him as well, like we always do, so let's get started. Now, this is the first time I used an armature. Didn't quite know how to build it, and for the connector parts I used clay and baked it. It did hold mostly. I did notice that when I was applying clay to the arms part, it cracked and then it became a bit loose, so I'm not going to do that again. Now we are bulking out his body, and now we're gonna make a tail. And we'll smooth out the edges. We're gonna wrap a bit of clay around the part where his tail connects to his body. That way it looks a lot smoother. I think next time I'm going to add more wire to the armature, just to have the clay hold better. I mean, I didn't have any problems this time around, but the armature I felt was a bit too simple maybe. So we'll experiment with that, see what techniques work and which ones don't. Now onto his thigh. We're gonna make his legs now. I should have used a whole piece of clay and then formed it, but I did it in two parts this time. Added another strip around, smoothed it on out, because this leg is a bit bent, whereas his other leg is straight. I know some people, when they do a wire armature with clay, what they do is they add super glue and they glue a really fine layer of clay to the wire first, and then they wait a couple of minutes and then they start adding more and more clay. So maybe I'll give that technique a go, but we'll see. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do in the future. Now onto his arm. We're gonna go cut that and adjust it. Now I'm adding a bit more green clay to bulk out his body, but it should have been a bit more because Yoshi is a bit on the skinny side. I noticed that at the end. I'm gonna blame that on Mario. Mario really needs to give him a vacation. He does. It's the holiday season. Yoshi deserves a break so that he can go fatten himself up. Now let's blend all the edges. That was the nice thing. You could do it with two techniques. You could use the tool, and to get rid of the tool marks, you just go over it with your finger. So it turned out pretty well. I enjoyed it. Once we finished with his body, we're gonna move on to his hand. Which we are going to do. We're going to do a similar method as Mickey's, but just this time we're using 3 fingers instead of 4. We're going to curl them into a fist, and then once we have them curled into a fist, we're going to go pull out the extra clay and make a thumb, and then bend the thumb over, and voila, we have a fist. Just make one more, but opposite it. We can't have 2 of the same hands, that wouldn't work. Now onto his feet. Honestly, these look like chocolate. It does. This clay looks like chocolate, but I don't recommend eating it. Nope. Now from his neck to the tip of his tail, he has a white underbelly. So I added clay. I did make it a bit thicker, and now I'm just I'm not blending it into the green. I'm just adding it on top of the green and making it look a bit nicer, smoother, sort of ish. Now for his eye, we're gonna flatten out a bit of green and then pop in some white. Cut off the extra on the inside and at the bottom. Smooth out the rest. And there you have his eye. Now for the back of his head, we just added some clay because I noticed that his head isn't exactly very rounded. He's got a weird shaped head. Yoshi has a very weird head. I mean, his nose is this big, round, green thing. And then he's got white cheeks, a white mouth, like a white underside for that. But his head is very flat. Sort of, I don't know how his anatomy would work. Now we're gonna add on some spikes. Just 3 of them. He has 3 spikes. I double checked this multiple times just to be on the safe side. I only found 3 spikes. We'll just pop them on the back and voila. Now we're gonna add his bottom lip. As you can see, the white didn't stay too white. I did wash my hands quite a bit, but green still managed to get into the white. I'm not sure why. I have to be extra careful. Now we're gonna make the shell. Mario's favorite seat. I'll just take a red blob of paint, turn it into a sphere, and then cut it in half. Pop that on the back of the white, and then we're gonna curl up the edges. And voila, we have a shell. Now, let's get everything and pop it into the oven for 25 minutes. Alright, fresh out of the oven, and we are going to apply some paint. We're just masking some of the little bit of mistakes or the colors that transferred over. We'll just cover that up. Now for his body, I did a different technique. I mixed a green and a yellow together and I made this green yellow, and I applied it very watery, I guess, and then I brushed it off with a paper towel. I did that on everything that was green, and I thought it added a really nice touch to him. And let's just paint on the eyes. Guys, we're almost done. We are almost done. Don't forget his nostrils. And now the white dots. Now let's glue him together. Oh, his head popped off. I just didn't want to stay on. But that's it. That's it, guys. We are done. And this is Yoshi. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.